Rusty runs Creekside Manor, the haunted house. He not only runs it, he owns it. And so I wanted to bring him in here. We're going to discuss the haunted house for the people out there that some of you might not even know we have such a great event here in Midlothian every October. Yeah. Tell me, I guess it'd probably be easier for me to ask you questions to get you started, but what caused you to get into the haunted house business? Because this is not your first trip into the haunted house business.
Oh no, it's not. Well, we'll back up to when I told you that I had went to West Texas and worked for a little while after I graduated from high school in 1985 here in Midlothian. And so I moved back here, and I didn't have a job. I didn't have any money, and I took this little job. And a guy I went to school with named John Brown. Him and his parents. I mean, they all. His mom just passed away recently, but his dad still lives here. But John got me this job, and we were working together. And we were over at his house one day, and his dad said, what are you boys going to do for money, man? This job isn't paying a lot of money. I said, I don't know. And it was September, And I said, well, I mean, I'm open for any ideas, And his dad said, why don't you do a spook house?
A spook house.
And I said, a spook house? Okay. What do you? He said, we used to do them at the church all the time. We would take the little bowl and put spaghetti in it, and you reached in the little hole and you touched, and we'd say that's brains. And we took Vaseline and grapes, and you'd put your hand in the bowl, and we'd say it's eyeballs, and and all this stuff, And he was like, oh, it's good, And I was like, he was like, man, we made good money at the church doing that. So I reached out to Mr. Coward. Remember when Mr. Coward had the funeral home?
So that was before me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I remember. Well, I don't know. Maybe I did move here before he.
Noel Coward Sr.
Yeah.
And there was a house. There was a house across from him, and then there was this empty house behind the house across from the funeral home. And he said, no, I don't own that, but I know the people that do. And he put me in touch with them, and I asked them if I could use the house, and they said yes. So I called the city of Midlothian and asked them if I could do it. Of course, this is like 1987. And man, I boarded that place up, and I did this haunted house, and I charged $2 to get in. And man, we had a line around the block.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That was the only thing going in Midlothian.
Yeah.
Midlothian was sleepy in 1987.
And that was on 3rd Street.
North 3rd.
North 3rd, yeah. And I called it a Nightmare on 3rd Street. That was when Freddy Krueger was real popular, back then. And man, it was really successful. And from there, I just kept on. And I think I'd go back and say, there was a guy I went to school with here in Midlothian called Lance Pope. And it was kind of a weird thing because I made fun of him for being in the band, and he poked at me because I was a goat roper, I was a cowboy and all this. But we ended up both doing haunted houses. And doing successful haunted houses. He had the big place, the Verdun Manor in Thrilvania out in Terrell. And Lance, unfortunately, has also passed away.
Was he... I was thinking about that one down there in Italy too. I think he's
that's a different guy. That's Radon.
Radon, yeah.
Radon that had that. I think he's still around,
but I don't think he's doing the haunted house anymore.
No, I don't think he is. But
sorry, go ahead.
No, but anyway, so I started doing that. I did that first haunted house, and then I did some other ones after that. I did one out at my at the Mears place. I did a couple of them out there. One of them I dug completely underground.
Really?
I got a backhoe out there and dug these tunnels and everything, and I built everything underground and built a cemetery facade on top.
Really?
Oh yeah, you went in a hole over here and came out a hole over there, and probably dangerous as hell. I mean, that thing could have probably caved in, collapsed. It was not engineered. People loved it. I had lots of people come. So I just kept doing that and kept doing that, and then I finally settled out on Cecilia Avenue in Midlothian and did the Taman Manor, and then I later changed that to the Adamsville Terror Complex. And out there, I had 1, 2, 3, 4. I had 4 haunted houses, a haunted trail, haunted hayride. We did monster truck rides. Do you remember all that?
Yeah. That's when Tara was worked for you out there at Taman Manor.
When your daughter worked for me out there, and we literally had a guy that had a monster school bus. And we did monster truck rides and hay rides and all sorts of stuff out there. And man, we had a blast. That ended abruptly because I had got into some. I wanted to expand, and when I did the expansion, I ended up getting in. I got in with the wrong investors, and the main house ended up burning down, and that was not an accident.
Yeah,
that was an on purpose for sure.
Not on your side.
No,
but
no. Unfortunately, the people that I was involved with, I know they had something to do with it. I can't prove it, but I know they did.
I remember that burned down out there.
And so at that time, the Lance Pope had passed away, and he had this big haunted house out in Terrell. And his mom called me, and she said, I'm so sorry. I heard about your place, and she said, but maybe we can help each other out. She said, because I have a haunted house, but not a haunted house guy. And you're a haunted house guy, and you don't have a haunted house anymore. And so I actually went out for about, I don't know, man, 5, 6 years or something. And I worked in Terrell.
I didn't know where you went.
Yeah.
After that, I just thought you just threw it in.
Oh no, I went and worked out there, and then it after a while, I was just talking to my wife one day, and my wife said, you just need to do your own thing. You need to do your own thing. And so I decided that I would do something else. And I didn't. I mean, you have to have a building, you have to have a house, you have to have land, and you know what prices are of everything.
Oh
in
yeah,
Midlothian, right?
Yeah.
So, I didn't do anything for the longest time, and I was at work one day, and I worked with this guy. He was my neighbor. He just recently moved, but Matt Presnell.
Yeah, Matt.
And Matt says, this is a great story. Matt said, hey, he goes, why don't you do a haunted house anymore? I said, well, I don't have a place to do it. Well, why don't you get a place? I said, well, why don't you give me the money? He said, well, I don't have the money. I said, well, I don't have the money either, And I said, not for that, not just for fun,
Yeah.
And he said, well, we need to do something like that. And I said, well, I'll tell you what, you let me know. So anyway, he told me, he said, hey, he says, I want you to go with me today after work. I found us a place to do a haunted house. And I said, okay. So he takes me out there, and I said, what the hell? Where are we going? This is your mom's house. And he's like, I know. I said, your mom lives here. And he goes, I know, she's not going to live here much longer.
Oh.
And I'm like, why? He said, because I'm putting her out. She said, we're going to turn this into a haunted house. I said, you're what do you mean you're going to put your mom out?
Was he serious?
Oh yeah, he was dead serious. He was. He said, we're evicting her. She's leaving. And he's like, and we're taking over. And I'm like, we can't do that. And he goes, he was embellishing, of course. But he said, look, before you freak out, let's go inside. So I went inside this house, and I was like, oh, wow, And I was like, your mom doesn't need to be living here. And he said, I know. He said, so what he did was he had another place on the other side of town. And he went in and built his mother this wonderful mother-in-law suite thing off of it. Was actually the house that he lived in when he was single before he got married.
Okay.
And it was like a barn dominium thing. His sister lives there now. And he built her this wonderful, beautiful suite master suite and a big giant bedroom, beautiful place.
So he was actually doing something really good for her.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, you know how Matt's
I do know
heart
Matt,
is.
yeah.
Yeah, his heart is bigger than he is, and that's pretty big. Yeah, he's got a big heart for sure. And so what he did was he put his mother out of a situation. He wanted her in a better place. So we literally went in there and...
You had to gut it, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. We went in there and we opened all the windows and doors, and we brought chainsaws in there, and we just gutted the whole house and started building. And I drew a set of plans in one night, and that house to this day still sustains that floor plan. And we went in and just started building walls and putting in new electrical and redoing everything. The whole front of the house, the floors had almost collapsed. His mother didn't even use the front part of the house. And we went in and took chainsaws and cut the floors out, lifted the floors, went in with big house jacks and hydraulic jacks and redid everything. And,
Saved the house, really, is what you've done.
we did. And we did that in one summer. And we said we basically said in 6 months, this is going to be an operating haunted house. And we did it.
How long have you been out there now?
This is 14 years.
14 years.
14
Now, you and him, when I first started out there with you, and if y'all don't know, I was a police officer, and I did off-duty work for Rusty at one time, and Matt was also out there. He and I guess he kind of fell to the wayside on doing the haunted house. I don't know if it was his.
Oh, he's still there.
Oh, is he still there?
He's still there. He actually takes care of like parking and things like that. That's what he wants to do. He does some of the animation stuff. The early animation stuff he did.
I remember you telling me that.
And he's really smart at that stuff too.
Does he still work out there at the plant too? Or?
No, he works for James Hardy now.
Oh, you know what?
He's an electrician for them.
I remember when I was out there, the Hardy board. I remember because I didn't know what James Hardy was, and he told me.
Matt's still my business partner. He's just kind of a silent partner. He lets me do the creative end, and then we both share responsibilities. But I'd say I take the blunt of it, but there's certain things that he's good at, and he deals with, and he'll just call me and say, "Hey boss," that's like, "Hey boss, I got this taken care of. I'll pay for this if you'll pay for that," and that we've just always had that.
And that's unusual, to tell you the truth.
Oh, it's always been a good relationship, and except for it's kind of funny because we didn't know when we first started that place, and when I had the Taman Manor and the Adamsville Terror Complex, we just had hordes of people every night. I mean, there were just more people than we could deal with, and Tara will probably tell you too. We were there till 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. It was just insanity. And when I moved out here, nothing happened. And I think you probably remember back in the early days, I'd go up to the gate and they called it, everybody would say, "Oh, Rusty's pouting at the gate." But I'm sitting there and, and my wife told me, she goes, maybe things aren't going to be like they used to be. Maybe things have changed.
Well, you had a lot of weight on your shoulders because you were responsible for the kids that were there, and you'd made some promises to people that we'll talk about in a minute.
Yeah.
And and so you
well, there was definitely a financial burden there.
Yeah.
I had my cousin Wade. He helped me financially. He and I didn't even ask. He offered. He was like, "I know what you can do. I'll give you the money." But then you have the responsibility of paying those people back, right?
Yeah.
And so it was tough.
You can't fail because you can't look those people in the eye if you do, right?
Right.
They took a chance in you.
No, absolutely. And then you have the situation to where, I always said, my wife told me, "I'll support you if you do this again, but I want you to be able to have money." And the reason, Matt, I'll back up a little bit. The reason Matt and I ended up doing this, I started doing a haunted house there at my house, just in the neighborhood. And Matt helped me because he was my next door neighbor. And we would do these little things, and we built this little haunted house between my house and his house, and we would tear it down every year and put it back up. And it got so popular, the Midlothian police, you know, I think the third year we did it, they're like, hey, look. And we were taking money and we were donating it to charity. I
Right.
won't say charity. One day, you know, my daughter came up to me and she was like, hey, Dad, you know, when we do the haunted house thing this year, can we set up a tip jar, a collection jar, a donation jar, and give it to my friend Allison? And there's a little girl that lived right down the street from us, just 4 or 5 houses down. And I said, why do you want to do that? And she's because she's got cancer.
Oh my God.
And Haven was maybe, I don't know, 10 years old at the time. And that's what we did.
Is that where it started?
That's where it started. And, you know, and then, so then when we started thinking about, when Matt was like, hey, let's invade my mother's home and all this stuff, you know, and then my wife was like, you know what, I'll support you if you want to do this. But she said, I know the insanity that goes on along with this, because it's a lot of hard work and long hours and dedication and time away from your family and time away from me. Mm-hmm. And did I mention time away from me? And I was like, yeah. And she said, but if you will promise, you will always be charitable. You will always give and donate and help people. If you'll do that, you have my support. So that's what I've done from this point forward. But pushing on to what I was getting at earlier, we just struggled and struggled and struggled, and then COVID hit.
Oh, good God.
And I remember.
Did that help or?
Oh, well, you would think no, right?
I would think yes, because it's outside, really.
Well, so I called Matt and, hey, boss, what's up, you know? And I said, hey, we you know, I'm working on this little budget thing and whatever. And he's like, whoa. You're not thinking about opening, are you? And I was like, well, yeah. And he's like, oh, no, you know, I can't. Our insurance is going to be outrageous. I can't imagine the city giving us a permit to do that. Everybody's going to be freaking out. Nobody's going to show up. He's like, man, I think I'm out, you know. And I was like, you're not out. Well, I wouldn't let him be out, you know. I'm like, but he said, I'm going to ride this year out, you know. He said, I'm going to give you the reins, you know. And I said, well, we still have a financial obligation to meet, and there's people that we're still going to donate money to. And he's like, well, I believe in you. If that's what you want to do, have at it. And so I did, and we had the most phenomenal year. I mean, we were just packed.
Nothing was open for people to do.
A lot of places closed down.
Yeah.
The big place, Screams over in Waxahachie, they closed down, and a lot of other places like that closed down. And so we were just busy. So a lot of people that didn't know where we were at and who we were and what we did, they found us that year, right? Because, you know, in this world of technology, right, what does everybody do? Everybody gets on their phone.
Yeah.
You know, places to eat near me, movie theaters near me.
What's open?
October, haunted houses near me. And we're the only thing that popped up because we're the only thing that was open. And from that point, from COVID forward, we've just been
every year it seems like it grows.
Oh, we've been blessed. You know,
Yeah.
we've added and changed the show and did lots of things. And you know, I remember the first year that we opened, we had 3 people that we were paying, and I was not one of those 3 people. And neither was Matt. And we had, I think there was a total of 11 of us out there.
Total
11. That was everybody. That was including you and everybody. Yep. There was 11 of us. And this year I have 48 employees.
How many police officers you got out there now?
I have 2 full time, and towards the end of the year, I'll bring on 2 more.
Yeah.
I'll have 4. And then I've got 3 security people. I've got 5 people that just do parking. I mean, it's grown.
Yeah.
It's grown tremendously.
You know, you've been super successful and offered a lot. Where is the haunted house located for people who are watching this?
Oh, it's at 2411 Plainview Rd.
And how much does it cost to get in?
Well, if you come these first 2 weekends, it's $25.
Okay.
And then the last 3 weekends that we're open, it's $30.
It goes up. Yeah. I know there's a lot to offer. I mean, there's so many of these haunted houses that are no longer around. I mean,
Yeah.
didn't Screams close down, or?
Screams closed down, so they got bought out by a corporate Renaissance company that bought all of the Renaissance festivals.
And they didn't want anything to do with the haunted house business?
They're doing something this year called Scarborough Hollow, and so they're only open on Saturdays, and it's like 5 to 10 or something like that. It's more of a, it's okay. I mean,
Yeah.
it's more of a family.
Well, when are you guys open?
We're open every Friday and Saturday night.
Okay, no other days. Friday and Saturday from 7 to.
Yeah, Sunday's the Lord's Day. We don't.
That's right.
We don't do that on Sunday. I have opened a couple of Sundays when it's really close to Halloween, but I prefer not to.
Yeah, I think I remember working a Sunday or two, but it was the Halloween, weekend.
Right.
It wasn't
Right.
leading up to it, and it
Yeah.
was so many people that wanted to come.
And that's why, originally we didn't care if Halloween fell on a close to Sunday or on Sunday, I just wouldn't open. But I had people wanting me to open, so we did. But we try to stay away from that. So
Yeah. No, I know y'all do.